back the GSL up and downs, it's possible we are in our final 3 matches.
Exactly. There's a possibility BBoongBBoong and Noblesse win their next game, then both of them will advance to Code S. And if then Labyrinth takes out Alive, he would take the 3rd place. It's definitely a possibility. No, actually, sorry, it's not Labyrinth that would take the 3rd place. It's actually Crazy who would take 3rd place.
Yeah. Labyrinth has no chances.
Yeah, Labyrinth is already out completely. He has no chance of getting 3rd place or advance to Code S. So for him, all the games are very irrelevant today. But we are going into another game first. The first CVZ and also the last CVZ of the day. BBoongBBoong up against Crazy. Let's see who's going to take it here. The GSL up and downs Group D with Paul and Wolf. And well, to the bottom right of the map, we have our Azubu player starting in red. Yes.
BBoongBBoong.
He on a perfect record in this group so far.
3-0. And if he wins, he goes to Code S. His opponent starts to the top left, currently on 2 wins and 1 loss. Starting for KT Rollstar.
KT Crazy.
This is our only Zerg versus Zerg of the group, as we only have 2 Zergs. And this is just kind of a change in matchup as a result.
We have no early pull here. This is kind of the theme that most of the ZVZs go these days. You try to look if there's going to be an early pull, and if not, then you usually end up in a situation where we transition at some point into Roach play. Roach, Infester, and then later on Hydralisks. That's kind of what you see in Wings of Liberty if the game is not ended earlier because of an early pull or an extremely aggressive Zergling player.
Yeah. Both players are winning the exact same build here so far. We'll see who takes gas. One player might take gas before pool, and that would result in a slight lead for them tech-wise. But it looks like, actually, based on the drone rallies, we might have both go gas before pool. No, pool here, and gas for Crazy.
Yeah, Crazy with the gas a little bit faster. This pool a little bit delayed. They just switched though to structures basically around, so not a big difference. 2 paths to the different goal in the end.
Yeah. They're gonna eventually link up really similarly.
And BBoongBBoong, as mentioned earlier, he is still not in Code S, so even though he has a 3-0 lead, if he loses his next 2 games, one of them, by the way, against Noblesse, then he could very well drop down to Code A, so he really needs to win here. So far he looked very strong, but he can't relax. He needs this game, and he wants it. He has been in Code S before, and he wants to go back.
Yeah, and Crazy is kind of the newcomer challenger here. He wants to prove himself. This is his first season of GSL.
Yep. He's still in a good spot, you know. I mean, he lost 1 game. That's the only game that he lost so far. He won his match against Avenge. He also was able to take down Labyrinth in the first game, but then he lost his match to Noblesse. And Noblesse is kind of the guy who apparently wins everything, no matter how far behind he is.
Yeah, that last game we saw from him was...
That was a little bit insane. Was actually crazy.
I got excited.
I couldn't believe that he was able to pull this off. I was really blown away. I looked at it, I was like, this is actually insane.
I looked at the SC pool and I was like, you know what? No.
It's like, I can understand that you do this, but no. And then I looked at it again and I was like, well, maybe.
Just as these players are doing the exact same thing, we have a little bit more time to talk about this. I feel that if, after seeing that the barracks were not lifted, if he had pulled like 4 SCVs to pre-repair the bunker just in case, he would have probably held, because it would have prevented, first of all, the SCV surround on the bunker, and also the repair would have helped him.
Oh, it definitely helped him quite a bit. Look how aggressive Crazy he is with his queen. He's actually going to take down one of... Ooh, he actually retreats here. Thing is, you lose a few injects if you go out that far with the queen, and also what happens is that you expose your queen to potential Zerglings. So he doesn't really want to follow all the way through.
Yep, he quits. Too scary.
The queen is a quitter.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't blame her.
Why? You should.
I know you hate quitters, but in this case, valuing your own life, is that really quitting? Because if you die, it's how you quit your life.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that she would have died. Actually, she wouldn't. There are no Zerglings. There's nothing to punish her. Well, the faster young wolf.
I guess. I guess so.
But don't do drugs. Rocks are bad.
Well,
That's not living fast, that's living stupid.
be careful about the banelings. That's one baneling.
Yeah, that's also something that you have to do. No matter how fast you are, because of the speed upgrade, you have to always be careful of banelings, because they could end your life very
I
fast.
think that gets really scary is banelings that are also fast.
Yeah.
Banelings with speed live fast and die young.
That's definitely true. You know, we have now exactly the same builds. A little bit of a different timing here, but both of them decided to go into the lair tech and add the additional gas. The roach one here for Crazy is a little bit faster. Let's find out if BoongBoong is actually going to do the same thing, or if he's trying to go into a Mutalisk build.
Oh, BoongBoong gets a good hit here.
That was a really good hit, taking out a lot of those Zerglings.
It's not going to be significant in the grand scheme of things, but look at that Spire.
BoongBoong is actually doing it. He's going into the Mutalisks. Now we have the +1 attack upgrade for those roaches. And now the question comes up, how exactly is Crazy going to play this? Is he trying to hit a timing here? Then he could do a lot of damage. Even when the Mutalisks are out, it takes them a long time to take down a lot of roaches. So you can do damage before the Mutalisks save you. But if he waits a little bit too long, the Mutalisks might give BoongBoong the map control that he needs to take this game.
Yeah, and BoongBoong has the third base going up now too. So if BoongBoong can force a cancel on Crazy's hatchery, or rather not even a cancel, but just if he can kill it, cancel it, kill it, take it out, then keep his own third up, then he's going to be in a great spot, even though Crazy has arguably the better tech with Infestors.
This is actually like a really intense battle they have going on in the middle of the map here with Banelings and Zerglings, and so far at least BoongBoong was able to put some pressure onto the third base. Now he dealt with most of the Banelings that Crazy has, but Crazy is still trying to save this. BoongBoong is really the aggressor here. But
Overseer sees the Spire.
Yeah. He already had the infestation hit.
Oh, that was sick, Micro. Doesn't even kill anything with that Baneling, and he loses the drone.
Cancels, and now it's really delayed. The third base is nearly completed for BoongBoong. This gives him quite the edge. He takes down the Queen!
And he's going to get some drones.
Oh, wow. This is really good for BoongBoong here. A great start into this game.
And the roaches are just chilling. Get over there, roaches. What are you doing?
They are lazy. They're lazy roaches. They follow the example of the Queen.
Yeah, see, this is the problem. If your Queen is lazy, your roaches may not respond.
Oh, he's actually taking down the roaches. He's trying to the Baneling, moving in the first, the second, and he's just getting away. But the Mutalisks, they are already being built, and so far we don't have any Infestors. He's just now starting them.
This is going to make it extremely difficult to hold the third base against these Mutas. If BoongBoong goes and attacks the third with the Mutas with a few lings, he'll be able to force a cancel again, I think.
And BoongBoong already has his own third up and running.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. Even with the Infestors here, this is something that's almost impossible to recover from. If he stumbles into these Infestors, though, he's just going to go for Queens. This is such a weird game. Usually you don't have such a ridiculous advantage with Mutas versus no Sporers.
The thing is, how will he split his Mutalisks? If he splits them well, he could actually take down one or two of those
he will
Infestors.
get them as they pop here if he targets.
And he does. He does. He takes down one. The second Fungal is in, but that's not going to be enough to take down the Mutalisks. He needs to move them, though. And he doesn't. He's trying to put on the aggression here, take down the rest of the Infestors. He's actually able to get all of them. Oh, is he?
So, the transfuse with the Queen.
But they are just too vulnerable. He takes down another one. Oh, is he? Yeah.
And he will get away with most of his Mutas. But the thing is, his third base has been mining for so much longer. Yep. He's getting the roaches out now. He's getting his roach speed. As far as I know, he does not have his own infestation pit, though. This is going to become a problem. Yeah,
that he doesn't have yet, but he really traded well. He killed quite a lot of the Infestors, and he's the one who is a bit behind in the upgrades, that's definitely true, but he has just a better economy for a long time now. He can also transition faster into...
He's going to kill his roaches even!
Yeah, well, there's no speed upgrade.
He lost some of his links. It could have trapped them earlier, but you're so right. This is a better economy. He's getting his own infestation pit. He even kills the tumor here because he wants to slow down any push he may face, and he's actually going to attack. He has a just slight advantage here. It's just slight enough to where he gets the attack off. Going to kill these Queens.
Can he work against those Infestors, though? That's the bigger question
here. About to finish.
He doesn't really have... Crazy doesn't have as many roaches, but the +1 attack upgrade will put him on even footing with Crazy for a little bit.
And he backs off, but that was a decent trade. And BoongBoong is now done with his infestation pit.
The big problem for BoongBoong is really his disadvantage in tech, that he now just starts the +2 attack upgrade, whereas Crazy is already more than halfway done, that he doesn't have infestors on the map yet. That's what makes it a bit difficult for him. But in general, he still has a good economy. He has also a slight lead in harvesters here. And the third base up a bit longer.
BBoongBBoong almost threw those roaches away. That would have been a big problem. But as it stands, he has the roach numbers as well, slightly in his favor, 28 to 21. And he starts his own infestors. Burrow. Macro hatch going up for Crazy, which I really, really do like.
Another problem for BBoongBBoong is going to be that Crazy already has his Hydra Den. So as soon as he feels confident enough, he can go into Roach, Hydra, Infestor. And that is a tricky composition to beat if you don't have Hydralists on your own.
Yeah, but make sure you don't forget, for those of you out there not that familiar with ZVZ, that Hydras, if you make too many of them, are also a liability if your opponent is heavy on Roaches because they don't have a lot of hit points. They need to be doing damage from the back.
They need something else to just take the damage in the front. That's
whether
definitely true.
it's a fungal that isolates the Roaches so they can't hit the Hydras, or it's just Roaches in the front.
Well, right now we have just Crazy trying to drone up again, and this is the time that BBoongBBoong uses to get his own Hydra Den up now. He wants to get the same composition, and he's looking a little bit better. He just has the Harvester lead. He's going for the same amount of upgrades. His upgrades in general are a little bit slower, and that could become a big issue if the fight happens.
Yeah. This is another issue that BBoongBBoong has, is that Overseer is following his army. Why is he not dealing with that? That's always a problem, because if your opponent sees every single move you're making like that, then it's really easy for him to set up the defenses for any attack that you might send. He also knows exactly your composition. In this case, it's very telling if you have an Overseer following your opponent's army and it's not dead, that he has no Hydras.
Yeah. Well, there comes another base. Fourth base is now coming up for Crazy. BBoongBBoong doesn't have another base yet, but he is gearing up heavily. Going into Hydralist, the same is true for Crazy. Now both of them adding a new unit to their composition, trying to prepare for the big fight here.
Crazy still having the better upgrades, getting Carapace out, now halfway done.
Overseer is gone now that the Hydralists are there. Was fungled in position.
And the Overseer. There he
yeah,
goes.
kills another one.
Crazy supply blocked by this. BBoongBBoong loses his Overseer as well.
BBoongBBoong has a pretty cool bank, though. He has a really good bank. With that bank, he can reinforce a lot faster than his opponent. And he also has a lot more lava.
If only he knew about this hatchery at 9 o'clock, he would kill it.
Yeah,
Crazy sees the move out. He goes for a small linger run by.
Well, if he knew about it, if he had the scouting information, he would certainly try to pressure it a little bit. At least with a bit of a run-by. That's what he could do. But it is, in fact, actually Crazy who tries to go for run-by. BBoongBBoong is the one who tries to force a big engagement.
One fungal totally misses here. The second one is good. A lot more Infested Terran energy here for Crazy.
And BBoongBBoong is dropping in supply rapidly. A lot of Infested Terrans right now spawning for BBoongBBoong on the other hand. And they definitely come through for him. Suddenly he's the one who takes not only in the engagement, but takes down the entire Roach force. And now the Hydralists are exposed.
Yeah. I think he had the better... Honestly, I think he had the better Roach count there. And maybe Crazy had too many Hydras, but this game may end here. BBoongBBoong, like you said, with the better bank, the better larva, is remaxing so much faster. He cleans up these units, he gets rid of the queens. Now he can go into this base and start killing the drones.
For BBoongBBoong, really important was also that he invested much more in the Infested Terrans, and as soon as they spawned, there was so much DPS. Crazy is still fighting, and he's trying to hold on here. He actually defends for now. But the fourth base, can he really make this work? This is the edge that he has over BBoongBBoong.
BBoongBBoong sees it now, though.
Also, BBoongBBoong was fighting without any armor upgrades, and Crazy was on +1. This was the slight edge in upgrades that he had. BBoongBBoong, so far, is trying to remax, and then he will also be on even upgrades with his opponent.
I like what BBoongBBoong is doing. Instead of sending his whole army to this base, he just sends a few roaches over because he knows there's no drones here, and then moves across the map. Otherwise, if he catches the army at a good angle, he's going to be able to take a fight.
BBoongBBoong wants to go into Goddess now, and he's so close.
Neither player has a single Infestor on the map right now. 4 of them about to pop out for Crazy. Does he have enough DPS here? He's got some Hydras, but he's got a flank going on.
The upgrades are exactly the same. Here comes BBoongBBoong trying to claim victory and go to Goddess. He's pushing Crazy back. The KT Rolster Zerg is now on the move. The Hydra's moving in. Here comes the fungal for Crazy, but BBoongBBoong, he has a lot of units here.
He does, but the high ground fungals continue to be a problem. BBoongBBoong not able to remax. His economy is hurting a little bit here. Oh, this is close, but I think Crazy is going to take the fight.
Well, the reinforcements, they are the big issue. BoongBoong is really down in supply, and this is becoming a big problem for him. Those road reinforcements for the KT also Zerg are just way too strong. If Funga could pin all the units for BoongBoong down and take them out, but he's a little bit too slow with the Infestor.
BoongBoong is trying to take a fourth, but Crazy's fourth is still alive and kicking. He did not lose very much to that run by. He was deflected.
Yeah, that was the big problem, just BoongBoong not having the scouting information early when he really needed it, when he could do something about the expansion. Now it's a little bit too late, and he's suddenly the player who has to catch up.
And here comes the run by over here again. He takes out the Geyser, but he's not going to be able to do much more than that.
At least he's making sure that there's not going to be too much gas.
Reinforcement run by trying to trap these units, but he's caught by a fungal. BoongBoong is falling further and further behind this game now.
BoongBoong is trying to play this cute now. He's already looking at this as like, well, I have less than you. Maybe if I can just run past your army into the main base, I can do damage in your main, limit your production, take down a few harvesters, and therefore take a lead in the game. But Crazy doesn't allow it.
Yeah, oh, this fungal trap is set, but he doesn't get it off. This fight is also going in Crazy's favor initially here, but a nice angle comes in from BoongBoong. We could fungal these roaches.
Yeah, it looks like Crazy is able to, at least for now, prevent BoongBoong from advancing to Codes. It would be really good for Crazy. Would put him on exactly the same score as BoongBoong and in a better situation because he won the direct comparison.
And Crazy now with a great surround here on BoongBoong's forces. I think this is going to be the end.
It certainly looks like it. The fourth base is really kicking in for Crazy. He has a 50 supply lead in the mirror match. This is so significant. 19 roaches as reinforcements are being built, and he's just pushing through here. He's still the one with the infestors. BoongBoong just doesn't have any to support him.
Yeah, this is just looking worse and worse. He saves the infestors with the burrow. Overseer way too far away. Crazy can actually escort the infestors back over before they can drop some infested Terrans. Burrows again here, heals, and he's going to end the game. Way too many reinforcements coming across the map.
If Crazy wins here, it also means that Alive can't go to Code S anymore, and he cannot get, well, he can also not get the third place finish. He is already in a position where he can advance to Code S, but if Crazy takes it, then there's just no hope for him left at all.
Very true. And now the infestors are Crazy, get cornered, but BoongBoong's forces are now trapped in this area. He hasn't killed his own rocks. BoongBoong is fighting for dear life here, but he just does not have the drone count, he does not have the economy, he doesn't have the larva.
He's trying his best to stay alive in this game and maybe turn this around, hoping for a mistake of Crazy, and if Crazy makes a big mistake, then BoongBoong might be able to turn this around, but I don't really think that's going to happen. There's just way too much for the KT Rolls Zerg.
Yeah, his army supply is 30 down right now. The last of BoongBoong's roaches are being taken out. The infestors continue to move forward, and BoongBoong rallies into his death here. These roaches have no chance. He targets down some infestors, but a nice burrow to save them. This is futile. Yeah,
this is definitely futile. He's 70 supply down, and there's the
GG.
GG and game over. Crazy takes it and is now on even scores with BoongBoong. Both of them on 3-1. Alive and Labyrinth, both of them are out. They are in Code A. There's no chance for them to advance anymore. Not to Code S and not to the third place, where in a potential wildcard group they might have another chance.
Yeah, this is entirely up in the air with the wildcard group's existence even. But it's something to hope for. As I made this analogy earlier in the day, you know, if you go to buy tickets for something and they're sold out, and the person says, well, do you want me to put your number down? Maybe I'll call you if someone cancels. You're like, of course, because I really want those tickets.
Exactly. There's just no harm in trying. So this is exactly the situation that we're in with a lot of these players that know already that they can't advance to Code S, but they might as well try to go for this third spot. And in case there is a wildcard group, then suddenly they have another shot to advance. Right now, what we have here is the next game, which is between Avenge and Noblesse. And for Noblesse, it's actually a little bit silly. If Noblesse wins here, he's still not in Code S. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. Even with a 4-0, there would be a chance for him to end up in a 3-way tie. But it would, of course, involve a lot of different results from other people, so Noblesse wants to win it here.
He basically he essentially gives himself a great shot.
Exactly. Avenge, on the other hand, if he loses, he will not only lose the chance to go into Code S, but also the chance to end up on third place, so he needs to take it. Avenge still looking a little bit like Bomber, I have to say, and I want Noblesse to blow his cheeks. He is definitely the Chipmunk Terran.
Yeah. He's got that grin.
Yeah, look at that, even the grin. Everything. his hairstyle, his glasses. He's Simon.
Well, the map for these two players is Whirlwind, a bigger map. Noble S has been unstoppable today. Even games he should not win, he is winning.
Yeah.
He's pulling rabbits out of hats, maybe even chipmunks.
Oh, he's definitely pulling chipmunks out of hats. Look at this smirk. Look at that smile. Both of them actually having a fun time here in the chat. The game is about to start, guys. Terran versus Protoss on Whirlwind. Noblesse is 3-0 in the group. Avenge is 1-2. He needs to win. If he loses here, it's all over for him. Let's see who can pull through. This is the GSL up and downs. Colin Wolf.